Yes, so good morning, all of you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us today. It is really fantastic to have you on this webinar, precisely raise capital, how to raise capital and find your ideal investor match in real estate syndication. So thanks a lot for joining. Ramesh Tambe, I'm a founder and CEO of Orion Digital. I've been 14 years of experience in marketing precisely and developing the strategies. More than 1,000 plus client I have worked so far. And to be very specific with syndication and capital raising, last 7 years, very closely I'm working with syndication businesses. Worked more than 200 plus clients on syndication, raised more than 2 billion, definitely more than 2 billion capital collectively for all of our client along with my team. And 7 years got in and out, what basically the challenges every syndicator is facing and everything, that whole bunch of knowledge I have along with me. So that's a bit of information about me. Over to you, Raj.
Thanks, Ramesh. Thanks, Ramesh, for first asking me to join this webinar. My name is Rajkumar Venkatramani. I'm actually a full-time physician based out of Houston, Texas. I'm a children's cancer doctor at Texas Children's Hospital. I am also the founder of Redoc Capital. This is a boutique firm mainly helping doctors invest in apartments. I'm also the founder of Redoc CRM, which is basically we provide infrastructure for people to raise capital, manage investor relations, those kinds of things. And I'm very happy to work with Ramesh. Ramesh has been working helping a couple of our clients, and he obviously has a lot of experience in this space. So I'm very happy to do the webinar with him and work with him as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot for great words, Raj. Fantastic. To begin with, today precisely we're gonna cover across the points which are how precise overcoming challenges in capital raising, value one investor to your business, understanding your investor avatar, typical customer journey from lead to investors, and attracting investors who will convert and invest along with you, harnessing technologies and marketing. So these are the few points which we would love to discuss today, precisely in this entire webinar. Yes. So to
So,
you, Raj, yeah, go on.
A couple of things. One thing is, of course, when we talked about how to conduct this webinar, instead of having a lot of slides, we wanted it to be a conversation. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, Ramesh. He's going to ask, but we are hoping all of you will ask questions as well at the end. And then we can have a discussion. Of course, we unmute in the end and you can ask questions. The other thing is we do want to give you something of value at the end of the webinar. If you stay till the end, we're going to give away a free email marketing course, right? Email is one of the most important way to market your syndication business, raise capital. But there are a lot of nuances to that. For example, only 30% of emails you send ever gets opened. So how to increase the number of emails being opened and how to set up the email marketing correctly. So we have developed a course for that, and you'll get free access to that if you stay till the end. But why don't we start off, Ramesh, first, as we have a lot of experience, you're helping a lot of syndicators. What are the challenges syndicators are facing right now for raising capital in 2023, end of 2023? And what are some of the strategies they can use to overcome those challenges?
Great, Raj. Great question. And I think this question is every syndicator is facing nowadays. Honestly, there are a number of reasons, but I'll just would like to touch only for few four, on a top of it. So biggest challenge every syndicator and capital raising company facing nowadays is not having enough investor base, not having their own investor network. That is the biggest challenge what they face at this point of a time. Increasing competition, everybody is coming into the syndication world, capital raising world. Some are coming with a fund kind of a thing, so everybody want to invest. So increasing competition is another biggest challenge what right now the syndication CRM, the most powerful. Hello. So this is the second most challenge what syndicators are facing at this point of a time. Managing investor relation, I mean, to maintain, once you got that investor in your list, or he invested, he didn't invested, how to keep a bond with him, how to create that relationship, keep maintaining that relationship with that particular investor is the big, again, another big challenge what right now the syndicates are facing. And the last one, which is the most important as well, along with that, rising expectations of the investors. Every investor is right now, since the competition is increasing, every investor is looking out a different expectations from every syndication. So rising expectations of the investors, these are the four challenges what exactly right now, Raj, the syndicators are facing. And honestly, coming over of this, I think what we every syndicator need is a very strong funnels or a mechanism in the digital age which they need to develop, which could be a investor acquisition mechanism, guys, which they have to have in a place. So I'll say one word. In our syndication business, we always say, while you sleep, earn the money. You need to have a passive income. So for a syndication business, while you sleep, you really need to have a mechanism where you start generating investor leads. And that can happen with this investor acquisition mechanism. Vishaka, if you can just bring in that slide quickly. And so this is a kind of a entire, a mechanism where you see a lot of traffic which we can bring from a left hand side, from social media, email, text messages, you know voice messages, and other channels, very secret sauce channels from where we can get the traffic of these investors to the landing pages, to the webinar, to the funnels. And they, once they get into the systems, then you could see a small boxes out there where, thank you email, text messages, schedule a call, newsletters, keep engaging them. If they schedule a call again, send the reminders, kind of a thing. So this entire, 2.0 kind of a framework, you can say, which is required in order to build out for investor acquisition. Guys, this is one of the most important need which can, leverage right now in today's world for a syndicator to acquire the investors. So with this being said, along with that, you really need to differentiate yourself with the competition. So develop a systems which I've shared across to you. Nurture the investor with a quarterly, monthly reports, update funds, deals, or a market condition, consistent performance update. Can Vishaka, can you get that piece of, that content? I'll show you across exactly what piece of content every investor love, precisely to have it in their newsletter to go across. A very transparent information, follow-ups moving in, what we exactly have done, what is the revenue look like over a period, what renovation we have done, what is the financial growth we have done across. Vishaka, scroll up. Vishaka, scroll up, top. So if you look around this, 10 new residenti, where we are focusing up, we are focusing mainly on the generating new leads, increasing occupancy rate for the property, precisely, more working on the increasing rent, collecting the rent, precisely. So see a one line, we are even sending a person for getting that 25 cent collection. Those kind of information actually make investor much more happy. And this kind of a content you really need to talk in your emails and in newsletter when you, send across to them. So this is how, you can keep investor relationship maintaining, all together going on across. So this, something we you need to develop a long-term relationship with the investor, transparent communication. And the most important thing, I think, in syndication business, you really need to be a patient. Capital raising, it is a time consuming process, as you all know. So you just need to have this system, be patient, and keep, following these processes, develop strong bond along with the investors, develop authority, develop confidence along with them, with your content and all those kind of parameters. So Raj, with this, these are the few things. There are much more to cover, but I think I would like to keep it short with this. These are the things probably we need in order to, these are the challenges, and this is how we can come on. With that being said, Raj, I would really love to ask one more question on that note. What do you think the first step is becoming a successful in raising capital for real estate syndication?
Uh, that's an excellent question. I'm going to go back to basics, right? So you talked about all the infrastructure you need, how to target investor relations, those kinds of things. But even before, when you first start, a lot of people forget to identify who they actually serve, right? So that is the first step. Who is your ideal customer you're focusing on? Who are you helping? That if you don't know that, then all the effort you do otherwise, it's not going to give you the results you want. So you always want to identify the ideal customer for you, right? It depends on it. There are two main things you have to think about. One is, what is the demographics of the customer, and then what is the psychographics, right? A lot of people consider demographics but not psychographics. Some people have multiple different avatars and their message gets very diluted. The first thing, for example, demographics is, what is the age of your ideal customer or investor, right? What gender, what kind of work they are doing, right? So all those things comes under demographics. And in addition, psychographics is, what are their pain points? You already touched upon it before. What do they like? What do they not like? Where do they hang out? Do they hang out on Facebook? Do they hang out on LinkedIn? What are the social media places that they're hanging out? What kind of associations do they belong to? So if you identify all these things and define your ideal customer, then you can actually give your message across. So I'm going to give you just one example, right? I'm a physician. So my ideal customer, I actually wrote it down. So I call them Dr. Dad. It's very, you can actually name John or whatever it is. You can come up with a name for the customer. So the Dr. Dad, he's a 45-year-old male. So that is my ideal customer. He has two kids. One child is in elementary. The other child is in middle school. He has just paid off his student loans, right? He's worried about retirement. Now he's paid off his student loans. He's worried about retirement. He's earning some money now, but he feels like he has been behind the eight ball. He started late because he's a physician. He started earning late in his career. And he's a 90s kid. So he loves 90s music, 90s sitcoms, those kinds of things. He usually mainly hangs out on Facebook, sometime on LinkedIn. And then his main pain points are, he's paying a lot of taxes. He feels like, I'm paying too much taxes. The second thing is, I don't have a lot of time to scrutinize all these investments. I need some help, right? So he's looking to connect with someone. So for me, that is my ideal customer avatar. So all my messages are going to that customer. When I write a social media post, when I write an email marketing, whatever I'm doing, I'm thinking about this Dr. Dad, and then I'm focusing on that. So a lot of people think, oh my God, so am I niching down too much, right? So I'm niching down to this very small, because even I'm not all doctors, right? So I'm niching down on small amount. People think, oh, I'm going to leave out money on the table. I'm not going to attract all these other investors, high net worth investors. I'm just focusing on this niche. That's a wrong way to look at it. So you focus on this niche, and then other people will see you serving this niche, and then they are going to come. For example, I have a lot of doctor investors, but I also have a lot of engineer investors. They look at my message in Facebook. Even though my message is directed towards doctors, I get other investors who are not exactly doctors. So it's ideal to niche down on your ideal customer avatar. That should be the first step to identify, and then go on from there and build all your marketing, everything related to that towards that ideal customer avatar. So that would be the first step for becoming successful capital raiser. So once we identify the ideal customer avatar, Ramesh, my question to you is there any specific strategies for targeting or attracting these ideal customer avatar into your investment club or investment pool?
Lovely, Raj. Very well explained, Raj. Thanks a lot. And this is, yes, absolutely. We have a very precise targeting. Basically, technology have given up so fast and so precise. Even like, let's say right now, if you talk, hey, I want to I'm checking out a C class now. So Google got to know, okay, he is looking a C class, and specifically within a 10 minutes of that time period, Raj, uh, Google, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, everybody starts showing across those ads and those particular things to that particular audience. So that being said, yes, we can target this specific target investors with the specific channels. So as you said, like, where they spend the time. So is your investor is on LinkedIn? Is your investor is on Meta? Is your investor is on Instagram? Is it on email? Or is it on a investor magazine? Are they frequent flyer? Are they golf player? Are they like, expensive buyers, luxury buyers, or cruise riders, all these places can be targeted with a auto programmatic advertisement precisely, with the ads of different ads and the content, so we can target these users because this data is being collected quite a well into the programmatic advertisement tool, and through there we can promote target them precisely for investing, whatever the investing offerings we have. Okay. And apart from that, like, you really need to have a hooky content, a content which we talked about, a pain point content or educational content. Because if you talk, hey, come and invest along with you, that's a salesy altogether. So you really need to develop educational content for your ideal investor whenever you develop. So if Vishaka, if you can get that example, specifically, like, what kind of example we can talk about. So this is a kind of a content piece where, you talk about a coffee break, a 60 seconds of a coffee break, where you say, hey, look, come and talk about and learn about investing kind of a thing. So a 60-minute of coffee break for passive investing in commercial real estate. So this is how, you really need to build out your content strategy along and bring them on this and get them hooked to it. So this is a one example of it. And now, Vishaka, you can go on the like a webinar piece of it. So this is one more webinar piece kind of a thing where, you educate your investors. Education is a much more important piece, guys. If you create such kind of educational piece content along with it, it actually attract every investor along with your funnel. And you, when they come in, they wanted to register, they have fill out this information, as simple as it is. Build evergreen funnels for attracting ideal investor profiles, for passive opportunity and evergreen webinars. So I'll show across few, like, whenever you have the deals, you have active deal, which is, 506C or precisely a fund. Vishaka, can you get that particular deal landing page up? So you really need to have some are the fund, they do invest into the funds as well. So this kind of a fund where, you entirely talk about what are the return look like, what are the, like, basic contribution look like, what the company is all, investment portfolio look like, how much are IRR, all this information you need to portray on this landing page. It's a funnel kind of a thing. Call in, why investor, hold on here, Vishaka, hold on here, scroll up. Here, if you look around, a very important piece of a content we have added with a winery resort work for investors. So this kind of a piece of information, which is really vital for investor and effective for them to take that action to download the investor kit. So this kind of a content you really need to present on your deal along when you create a cross. So why this particular investment opportunity, where this investing opportunity look like, all this information we try to portray on this landing page. And here, this is how you have to do it all together, guys. One more example of the deal, probably, like, in terms of multifamily, if you running 506C deal or kind of a thing, this kind of a representation of the deal with a passive investing opportunity, IRR, equity multiplied, and then capturing their information in this format, a right representation of entire information need to be done. A team, a quick glance of it. Yeah, scroll down, Vishaka. This is it. And last one, which is like, Vishaka, last one more example. This is one more from a Texas, Dallas. So you can look around, you have to present and create deals and funds representation in the same format, bring the investor here. So as I said, there are many ways how you can attract the investors, and this is one more way, like, you can start attracting them over here. So this is being said, Raj, I would have one more question for you on that side. What kind of an infrastructure do you need for attracting, nurturing, and converting these ideal investors, probably?
Yeah, could you let me share my screen? I just want to show a couple of slides.
Yes, Vishaka.
So I'm going to go back to the basics again. So I talked about the ideal customer avatar. Let's see. Yes, thanks. I'm able to share it now.
Wenn eine kaputt geht. Und
Hopefully you guys are able to see my screen. So
halt
we talked about ideal customer avatar. Once you identify those ideal customer avatar, this is how I map. All of us have to map our customer journey, right? We want ultimate goal for us is for them to invest in our deals. But for that to take place, they have to move through different stages. They're not going to talk to us, look at us, look at our video, and then invest the next day, $50,000, $100,000, right? So some of them may, but most of them need to go through different stages before they actually become an investor. For example, we talked about the ideal customer avatar. We target them, maybe they hang out in LinkedIn or social media, or you meet them at a conference or a meeting, and then you give your message across. You probably have you give something of value teaching. The first thing they're going to do is, hey, Raj talks about this. They're going to go and Google me or go to Readout. What is this Readout Capital? So first thing they're going to do is go and look at the website. So it's very important to have a professional looking website, which loads pretty quickly, very clean design, and then targets who your ideal customers. If they go to my page, for example, if you can see there, it says we help doctors invest in apartments. So it's very clear what we do and who our customers are, who our clientele is. And then when they come into the website, a lot of them will come to the website and then go away and forget about it, right? They may like your website, but life gets busy. They will go away and forget about it. So you should have a mechanism or way to capture the email address and phone number. So that is the whole point of your website, is to generate leads. So when they come in, Ramesh showed beautiful funnels for actual investment. But the other thing a lot of you probably already have is lead magnets. So I have multiple lead magnets I use. So we want to give them lead magnets, a thing of value. In exchange, they're going to give us an email address or a phone number. Once they give that, of course, we are going to nurture them, right, by sending emails, text messages, things of value, newsletters, whatever it is. We're going to nurture them so that I personally have an investment club. You can call it anything you want, so that they feel exclusive. So they come and join this investment club. The whole point of me sending them emails is eventually they want to join the investment club. And then I also want them to eventually book a phone call with me. So the customer journey is they come to the website, give their email address, join the investment club, book a phone call with me, right? So the phone call is very, very important because most people are not going to invest until they talk to you one-on-one. So that is the whole point of this journey, is to make them book a phone call with you. At the same time, you don't want to leave them alone, right? So they came to you, they understood you, but you want to surround them with the information, right? You want to do social media stuff. Everywhere they go to Facebook, they should see you. They go to LinkedIn, they see you. They open the email, they should see you. So those kinds of things. You want to be on their mind all the time. So the classic teaching for sales is they have to see you 7 times or see your message 7 times before they'll buy something from you. The same thing here. They're not going to look at you for one time and then come and invest with you. They have to see you again and again and again. Some people, the duration depends on different people, right? Some people will invest with you after talking to you the next week. As you know, some of them take about a year. They just watch you from afar before they actually become an investor. So you have to have this infrastructure to make this happen. So these things take a lot of time. I'm a physician, full-time physician. I don't have the time to sit down and do everything. So I believe strongly in automations and stuff. So we talked about the infrastructure. We talked about the website. You need an amazing website, right? For that, you need a website builder. You need to host. You need to track and analyze everyone who comes in. And then we also talked about funnels. Funnels can be for the lead magnet, or you can have funnels for your deals when you're actually raising money for it. So you either need a good funnel builder. So a lot of people get confused between funnels and websites. Website is general information, various clicks, links, and stuff. Funnel is a page. It usually doesn't have an external link. It has only one purpose, right? Either you make them invest in a deal or you make them download your lead magnet and give your email address. That one purpose is served by the funnel. And you need to have forms in there for them to input the information. Of course, we talked about you need to have booking calendars, things like Calendly and those kinds of things, so that they can click there and easily book an appointment. You're not texting back and forth saying when you're available, when you're not available. So that's a very inefficient process. So you have to have that infrastructure. And then, of course, you need to have a CRM. So if you're serious about capital raising, Excel files may work for your first deal, but it's not going to work long term. So you need to have a proper CRM software. You need to organize your leads and then track that customer journey I showed in your CRM. Say, hey, this person just downloaded the lead magnet. This person has joined the investment club. These group of people have joined, booked a phone call with me. These group of people have invested with me. So you have to track them through pipelines as well. And then last is I talked about automation. You don't want to do these things manually. You don't want to, if someone requests a lead magnet, you don't want to sit there and email them the lead magnet, right? They may be requesting at 1 o'clock in the morning. They need instant gratification. So there should be automation where as soon as they put the email address, the lead magnet goes to them. And immediately they are put in a drip campaign where they receive a series of emails every 2 days, every 3 days, to introduce yourself to them and eventually make them book a phone call with you. So you need ideally good automations built in. And then the other thing, we already talked about the email marketing, but people often miss this SMS marketing. There is a new rule there which prevents you from randomly texting people. This is called A2P verification. But only 30% of emails as an industry standard gets opened, but about 90% of SMS messages get opened. So you have to build in SMS and email marketing together. They synergize together and then do those things. So you need all these things built out for your capital raising machine so to become a successful capital raise. So the reason I'm putting it, we have a solution for people to have all these things in one place. And then, of course, Ramesh's team is supporting some of those people who have my customers on the back end, where they do done-for-you services. They do everything for you on the back end as well. So that is the infrastructure thing. We can go on to general question and answers. I'll be happy to answer, and Ramesh will be happy to answer questions. But as we promised in the beginning, this is a QR code. I'm going to leave this on for a minute. You can scan this QR code with your phone, and then it automatically will send a text message. A text message just pop up. You just send it, click send, and then you answer a series of questions, and then you'll get access to the email marketing course. Basically, this is an example of an automation. I'm sitting here, my hands are free. I'm not going to do anything, but you will get the email marketing automatically enrolled and a link for you, and then you will go and have the access to the course. At the same time, I'm able to capture your first name, last name, and email address at the same time, and your phone number as well. So this is an example of providing something of value and then getting it back, getting the email address and phone number of an ideal customer or potential customers back. I'm going to stop there, leave this on for a minute. And then, of course, Ramesh, you can summarize, and then we can take the questions.
Lovely. A very good explanation, Raj. I think, the way you have explained, because you been on a syndicator, why it is needed and how it is helpful. Such a nice way you have explained. So I think, all of our attendees could understand the importance of it, and they wanted to implement this system into their capital raising business. So moving on to other point, I would really love, Vishaka, if you can get on this the ending note. Thanks a lot for joining. And I think, guys, we can start our question and answer session one by one. All of you can start putting across your questions. Me and Raj are very happy to answer them one by one.
I'm going to stop the share. Of course, if you guys want this later, just email me or connect me through LinkedIn. I'm happy to send the access to. And then go ahead, please. And please put your questions in the chat, or if you can unmute and ask as well. That's completely fine.
So I have a question, I guess, kind of sourcing the investors, right? We have implemented most of the things you've mentioned. We have a attractive website, we have a funnel, lead magnet, CRM. We have a podcast, we have social media posts. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is that no one is driving to the funnel, I guess. I'm not getting any calls on the back
Lovely.
end. So
Lovely.
any advice or, where to start?
Obvious, Tyler, this is again a most common thing which every other syndicator come across. So yes, if you're putting a content, where you're putting, what kind of attraction this content is creating. If your content is all about problem and solving statement kind of a thing, if you're putting across a pain point over there and then hooking them to the landing page is a different ball game. You might be talking a general content, it is not going to hook them across. Okay, where you are distributing your content is again an important factor altogether, Tyler. So which platform you use for a distribution? Okay, apart from that, what kind of a content, what is your hook line? Your hook line is a pain point. If the hook line is a pain point, then that investor is going to hook to that content and going to come back to your landing page. Are you hooking them through the organic? Are you hooking them through the email marketing? Are you hooking them through the paid advertisement? What are the distribution networks you are utilizing? Okay, so those are the important factor. Might be the content which you are creating is being distributed and displayed to the wrong audience. That's why they are not getting hooked to it. Either your content is not uh, up to the mark. That's why they are not getting hooked to it. So these are the several reason behind why you're not getting obviously the traffic or attraction. Again, when you do the podcast, probably how many downloads you have for the podcast, how you distribute your podcast, are you creating short reels for them for a 30-second with the hook line, with the pain point, which was the very important part which you discussed in your podcast. That distribution of that content and the piece of that content, a teaser of that content is much more important, Tyler. If you got that piece, then and then only you're gonna get the traction. So right now, what missing with you is a right piece of a content, okay, right distribution, and then checking whether that is creating traction analytically. Whether the analytics for that particular, when you push one particular post or a content on the internet with the tracking parameter, you really understand who clicked on it, who came to the content along to that. So those tracking parameters are important to identify whether this creating a traction of your post or not. So
Yeah.
So
that can
Ramesh,
help
to
out.
add to
Yeah.
that, Tyler, I had two short questions for you. As an active syndicator, that's where I'm coming from, my perspective. So who is your ideal customer? Second is, how long have you been doing this? The reason I ask that is, for example, I get a lead from a podcast I did like a year ago, right? Sometimes it takes a long time for these things to warm up and start getting leads. So I don't know if you have been doing it for a long time or was only a short time. That's one thing. And
Yeah.
who is your ideal customer? That's the other question.
Yeah. So we created an avatar as Eric the engineer, right? He's our,
Mhm.
40-year-old. His pain point would be that, he has money saved. He wants to grow his wealth, but just not really sure how to accomplish that, right? So he needs somebody to guide him to the process and help him. So that's the avatar. As far as the podcast, we've been doing it for, I don't know, probably 3 months, 4 months. We got a lot of downloads on it, a lot of subscribers, but none of them converted. So to your point, yeah, maybe it's a time thing. And I think also, maybe we're not putting enough hooks in it, the pain points. We're really kind of bringing on good guests and giving out good information, but it's not necessarily targeted at their pain points, right? We're just trying to educate people in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one thing I would add is, again, it's only 3 months. As I said, it takes a long time. The other thing, sometimes you get disappointed already. You spend all this time creating good content, and there are no likes or not a lot of likes or comments. That's okay because people have never liked my thing, never commented on my post. Suddenly, I get a call saying, "I want to invest with you." Right? They're watching you, kind of thing. The
Right.
other thing is the fear of missing out. the lot of these LinkedIn, I don't know how many of you are active in LinkedIn. I don't know how the link, this is the background information for if you don't know. A lot of people hire these, pay people $1,000, $2,000 a month, right, to create LinkedIn post. And what these companies do is they have 20 customers, and then they cross comment, cross like. So as soon as the post comes on, they go into other 20 customers' profiles and go and start commenting and liking. So you look at it and say, oh my God, I'm creating a lot of this content, no one is liking, and this guy is putting out this content and there is 20 comments in 5 minutes. But are they really targeting their ideal customer, right? If the ideal customer is not looking at it, commenting at it, it's usually the other syndicators, other multifamily people, or those are, they're commenting on each other and encouraging each other, which is good. But ideally, you want your ideal customer to look at it, comment on it, consume that content. So for me, it took a long time before people started commenting and started investing.
Good. So Tyler, in order to solve your question, probably I would love to say, drop in, book a call with us, or where we can analyze your digital assets, check what kind of a content you are creating. Does your funnel really making sense? Are they tracked enough? What kind of hook line you are creating across, the pain point and all that. So if you really need help out on that side, we can definitely check around and let you know that, hey, look, here you are going wrong. Here you can work out probably, and that could really immensely change the situation. Uh, I agreed with Raj. It is a time-taking process, but traffic generation is never a time-taking process, Tyler. People has to, like, while you're sleeping, they will come visit your website, see the content, download your ebook. They will invest later, but traffic has to rectify, which you have already identified, Tyler, that you are not getting that traction on your landing pages or on the website. So book a call probably, and we'll see and check out, how we can help you out with that, Tyler.
All right. Great advice, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, lovely. Anyone else, guys? Anyone who have a question, we would love to answer. They can unmute and ask.
Do you guys have any experience in other asset classes besides multifamily?
Yeah, I think, we are working with a different asset classes apart from multifamily. We work with storage, we work with funds, a debt fund. We work with, precisely on a mobile home parks. We work with RV parks. Apart, we do work on 1031 exchange as well. So a different kind of us, we even work with a, promissory note as well. So more than 10 to 12 different asset classes, we are working only ground up development as well. So those kind of a thing. So we have experience with a different asset classes to work on, and develop a content and attract them and get into the funnel. So it's all about investing again.
Yeah,
What kind
awesome.
of return you provide? Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you actually get people to attend your podcast?
Can you come again?
How do you attract an audience to attend your podcast?
Obvious, I mean, let's say, for example, I don't know what is your parameter or how you distribute your podcast, but there is a fundamental how we launch a podcast precisely. So, a 10 days prior, we cut down all pieces of the podcast before we release them across. We get the 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 20 seconds teaser, which are a hook line, or probably add a hook line into it, create a distribution network on Insta, on Meta, on LinkedIn, okay, and also on a display ad sometime as well. And through that, this is our next upcoming webinar. Through that, we push it hard, and that's create a better curiosity, honestly. And stay tuned up, and then one day to go, 2 day to go, and we have launched. Boom. So those really create a big impact, and that's how we promote. Even one particular, let's say for example, we created 10 teasers of your podcast, okay. So when we test around on this multiple channel, we check one particular or 2 to 3 different teaser which has a greater traction, with a data analytics. Okay. And then we started pushing that with a boost or particular location, more on a paid ad. Let's say we spent around $50 or $100 for that one particular content, and get them hooked to your podcast precisely to watch it. And if along with you, there is another co-host who is talking on your podcast, we can distribute the same to his channel. We can give the asset to him and ask him to promote as well. So that helped too, parallelly. Third, create an email newsletter for that and distribute it through the emailing, along with your personal social media profile. Publish this content on your company profile as well. So 4 to 5 different way for a distribution of this content.
So one thing I want to add is, of course, podcast is a very powerful medium. Strategically inviting guests who have the network of your ideal investor, right? For example, my ideal customer avatar is doctors. So I do a podcast called REI Doctors. All my guests are doctors. I don't interview anyone else because I want to serve my ideal customer avatar. And then when I bring in another doctor to the podcast, I'm also getting their audience, right? I'm going to promote it. They're going to promote in their network. Hopefully, both our audience will grow. So being strategic on who you bring to the podcast, and then that will ideally synergize with you, the guest and you together, and increase your network. So that's another way to organically grow your audience.
Cool, lovely, Raj. Adding to that precisely, I think, not only you will write, people try to bring in cross sell it, I'll say cross sell it. So investor advisory, CPAs, precisely, okay, those people who are actually connected with the accredited investors, who are along with the individuals who are high net worth individuals, get them on your podcast, get them on your webinar, and try to speak with them so you can share their network. So very well, Raj, fantastic. So we can go from there. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd left a question around family office investors. So we typically raise like $2 to $5 million for transactions, and I haven't done any interactions with family offices. I'm wondering if anyone's had success on that, or if that's too small of a raise. Is what my feeling is maybe family offices are looking for much larger investments.
Absolutely. Good question, Craig. Obviously, a lot of beginner, I can say, or the companies, institutional companies precisely look for a family offices, and family office has been targeted through a different way. There is a way, Craig, how we have to target the family offices. There's a list of the family offices or emails and everything. So you have to draft a very defined mail, create that list on a meta, through that, you can really target the similar family offices which are around and nearby to you, so they can get hooked to it. So through the email marketing, through the paid advertisement, yes, obviously we can target a family offices. And yes, the raise is quite a low, 2 and 5 million. Probably they try to invest a bigger amount of a chunk, Craig, into particularly where they talk single-handedly invest 5 million, 10 million, 15 million kind of a thing. So that's the investment opportunity what family offices are generally looking for. And you can always if you have a better deal, obviously if you're going to offer a great returns to them, they normally take the control of, if they come along on your deal, they try to take the control of a bit of your deal, how this should work out, or they try to take a bigger advantage of it. But when you need a bigger chunk of a capital, obviously you go with the family offices, and we have the ways how we can target the family offices too. Great. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Lovely, Craig. Anyone else? Hey guys.
What do you, go ahead.
Go ahead, please. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. What do you find for your avatar to be the best social media?
So I can, probably it's directed towards me. For me, it's LinkedIn. A lot of physicians, a couple of reasons I target LinkedIn, because Facebook is oversaturated, and that's not the kind of physicians I'm going after. The middle-aged with kids worrying about retirement, LinkedIn works the best for me. And then I use basically automations on LinkedIn. I don't sit there, send connection requests. I don't sit there, send messages. Everything is completely automated. I respond only when they respond to my message. Then my automation stops. Then I look at the message and respond. Otherwise, from start to end, everything is automated.
Cool. Great answer, Raj.
Yeah, adding to that, I would love to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. You can just search REIDOC. My profile will come up. So I would love to connect with all of you there as well.
Cool. Great. I
Hi.
think, yes, go ahead.
Hi, this is Kashif. So I have two questions. The first is that I'm unable to copy the contents from the chat window. I think the copy is not enabled. The second question is that are you offering a turnkey service to take care the LinkedIn automations and the marketing automations and the funnel automations and all that? Or you can refer a company that does all that.
Yeah, Kashif, very good question. Yes, we offer a turnkey solutions, end-to-end solution where we can, offer automations. We can draft, build out the content. We build out the funnel, as like Raj said, the CRM which he has, we have completely developed it across, and he is using for his customers too. So we can help you out with entire turnkey solution, Kashif, with a content creation to funnel building to automate the entire process. And you just probably sit and take a call along with the investors. Once that call is done, even the follow-up emails and messages can be done from our side. You just need to talk and probably take it forward from there. That's how we work, Kashif.
Thank you.
So one difference between Ramesh's company and the Redux CRM I have is we provide the infrastructure. We provide all the automations we developed, and I use for my own company, Redux Capital. I basically provide that thing, but you along with a VA do the work on the back end. But if you need a fully like hands-off solution, Ramesh's company provides from end to end. But if you want to have more control, if you want to do some of the things yourself, you have a VA with something working, then you can connect with me. We can provide a solution for you for that. But if you need completely hands-off, Orion Digital will do it for you.
I'm still unable to copy the contents from the chat.
You can scan over here, Kashif, easily, and it can take you to there. And Vishaka, you try to put across. And if you could, Kashif, if you could share your email as well, we would love to, send across your email and mobile number. So we'll be in touch with you, and you can scan easily. So that can also take you to the another level.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, cool. Guys, anyone else have any question we would love to answer and address them?
Be sending out a recording. Sorry. Will you be sending out a recording of this presentation? I had a conflict and had to jump in late.
Yeah, Monica, we will send across the recording to you surely. Cool. So I think, is there anyone, guys, as a last round? If you have any question, we would love to answer and take it there. If not, then we can conclude this and we will send across a recording on email as well. Love to have all of you here. A fantastic session. Raj, thanks a lot for joining me over here. It's a fantastic information which you have shared with us. And probably in next round of a webinar, we can deep dive into the further information. where we walk you through in detail that what kind of a content it look like, how you can build out, how you can attract. So me and Raj gonna keep doing the webinars where we can keep educating you on how this entire process work. So thanks a lot. And again, if you have any question or anything, you can just put into the chat or email us or schedule a call with us and we will help you out. Happy to help you out.